As we continue to explore what went wrong, we have to understand that dysfunction number one, development of the ego, dysfunction number two, which is, and I name them not in terms of importance, but in terms of sequence, when the order in which they occur. So dysfunction number two is actually the root, most powerful dysfunction, which is that you have lost yourself in the awareness of something that is not you. Then this starts to proceed. You have forgotten that you are well, that you are undamageable, unblemishable. I think this should be one of the contemplations that we do. We should really understand that there are meditations that I do where you go into the inner stillness and you feel that stillness, you feel that core self, and you realize, if I were to walk out in the rain, this self would not get wet. If I stood by a fire, this self would not burn. You have to really, really remind yourself of what you've forgotten, which is that what you are is undamageable. You'll often hear in the spiritual world, unblemishable. But it's true, not even a blemish, far less for a damage. You're not even going to get, the smell of smoke won't even cling to you. Nothing can affect your essence, your spirit. You used to know this, and you used to go out in the world and engage with the body, the mind, and the input of the five senses. And as a young child, because we stopped doing this pretty early on, and we used to say, oh, okay, whatever, stuff, cool, life, cool, okay. And we used to come back in and remember, I am here. I dwell at the center of my being. I am well, I am untouchable. I am safe. That's the thing. So now you have progressively over life, and I mean, we all have, it is a human nature, we have forgotten who we are. And we have begun to believe this egoic identity. Part of forgetting who we are is forgetting how we are, forgetting that we are okay, we are untouchable, we are safe. Safe. This is my safe place. I am okay. I am taken care of. I am protected. I am well. The things that happen here aren't affecting my truest nature. That sense of safety and the sense of connectivity. I'm connected to everything. I'm a piece of God. I'm a part of I'm an aspect of the divine. I am sent here as a unbroken chain that is connected to the creator of this universe. I am supplied and fueled by the creator of this universe. I am inspired with the consciousness, the greatest consciousness with a capital C that created this universe. I am cared for and supplied for, and I am given access to a higher consciousness within me, the spirit of God within me, my own higher self that can help me and guide me, my own fairy godmother. And that I am not alone, not even like physically alone, like, oh, I have a companion. No, I have help. I have energy, force, creation, power, protection, creativity, inspiration, ideas, knowledge, and wisdom flowing through me. At my core, I am the core of the universe, and the core of me is the same core. I have forgotten that. So this has led to what I'm going to refer to as dysfunction number 3. When you forget that you are well, and then you fall for the lie that you are the ego that is vulnerable and exposed, you now start to think that the mind, the thought stream, the fear, the pain that you have become, literally become all of these things, starts to say, don't worry, I got you. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. I will protect you. I will be vigilant. I will never fully sleep so that I make sure you're never assaulted again. I will never trust anyone so that you never get betrayed again. I will work so hard that you can succeed in this world that does not want you to succeed. I will be so smart that I will outsmart all the villains who are trying to con you, because they're all trying to con you, but I will be smarter than them. And I will protect you and all of our neighbors and everyone in the world from the external separate evil of this world that is out to get us all. I got you. I'm going to fix this. So you believe that you're helpless. You forget that you're taken care of. and you begin to say that the egoic self will fix the egoic identity. Remember everything that we talked about, where this egoic identity came from. The egoic self is not who you are. It is a lie. So, and the egoic identity, I am alone, I am vulnerable, I am in danger, I am at risk, I am unworthy, I am incapable, I am unwanted, I am unloved, unsupported, I need to be protected. That identity is a lie. So when you say, I will protect myself, I will fix myself, this is how you live generally. And then you start to go through this awareness. You say, okay, whoa, I think I need some help here. I need to get my life together. I need to purge, clean, heal, let go of stuff. So you start the healing process. And the healing process, you shift the tone and the words and the focus a bit, but the same general statement is said. The same statement is, I will heal myself. I will release from the collection of pain that I am. And again, I'm not saying that it's not something that can't be done in a certain way to a certain extent. You do have to go through the healing and release of the pain and memories and identities and stored emotions. Yes. But the lie is that the one you believe yourself to be, the separate self, is a lie, an illusion. It's a, I don't want to use harsh words that are difficult to digest. So let's call it an illusion, a misconception. So when you say, I will fix this mess, I, that you believe yourself to be, the place from which you are acting, is an illusion, a misunderstanding, a misconception of yourself, will fix this mess. The mess that you're trying to fix is a misconception and a misunderstanding of what is wrong. So what you have is that the one who is trying to help is a reinforcement of that which needs to be healed. So the doctor is the disease. That is a friggin' mouthful. And I know that if it's the first time you're hearing this, it goes against intuition. It goes against logic. You're like, this doesn't make sense. This isn't how I was trained to believe the world works. Go back again through the videos, through the lessons, through the dysfunctions. Watch that it is logical and it makes sense. Check inside of yourself. Realize that it resonates with something beyond even logic, something inside the true being inside of you, and contemplate these things. Meditate on them when you're doing your contemplative meditations, and take them in prayer. Ask the higher consciousness that is helping you, help me to understand this. Help me. What does she mean? This can't be true. It can't be true. The doctor cannot be the disease. That is a contradiction of terms. It cannot be true. The revelation will come to you. The doctor is the disease. The act of saying, I will fix this mess, is the act of reinforcing two illusions, two misunderstandings, who you think you are and what you think is wrong. So you are acting from the wrong layer or wrong perspective of yourself, and you are fixing the symptoms, not the cause. So the harder you try, the less it works. Even though you're doing certain practices that make sense. Yes, energy work makes sense. Yes, somatic release makes sense. Yes, therapy makes sense, and inner child work makes sense. They make sense. But the I who is doing it and the why that it is doing it for are misunderstandings. And the act of doing it, therefore, is the act of reinforcing the misunderstanding. Okay, so that's dysfunction number 3. And all of this is necessary. Not that we need to go and fix every single one of these dysfunctions, but we are exploring what went wrong. When we understand who we are and what we are, we go to the root of healing. Module 3 will explore the self is the healer, which is a simple concept and an immediate fix for all of the dysfunctions. So you really only have one step to do to fix all the dysfunctions. So do not be discouraged by these dysfunctions. They're meant to help you to understand what's going on, especially since you've probably received fragments of this wisdom and memories over the years, and you're trying to put it together and say, ego, self, what is, I don't understand. Okay. So the fourth dysfunction is that this egoic sense of self, the mind, the thoughts, the emotions, and this illusory being, this holographic projection of who you think you are. None of these are infused with consciousness. They are not souls. They're not entities. They're artifacts. They're functions, programs. But you, the being, the beam of sunlight that came to this earth, carries the energy and light and heat and warmth and life-giving force of this sun. You are an extension of God, and you bring God consciousness, God energy, God movement, God strength, God creative force with you. The consciousness, if when describing the creator source, God of the universe as consciousness when it moves, when it creates, when it expresses, when it reaches out, this movement of consciousness is energy. The energy is the energy that creates life, sustains life, repairs life, builds life, etc. So these things, this fake you, this holographic you that doesn't exist, this shadow that's moving around, that is not a living thing. And you can't, it's not connected to source. It's not an actual real creation that is part of source. It is an illusion of perception, illusion of concept. It would die. It is sustained now because it has captured your awareness. And your awareness is the outlet, the tap through which the creative force of life, the energy of life, divine life energy is flowing into the world. So when you are aware, and you are aware of your beautiful houseplant, you send it energy and your houseplant thrives. When you are aware of the egoic self and the pain and the patterns and the emotions, you send your awareness through there. And so now these things, this sense of self, this egoic identity, and the pain and the emotion, the pain, the thoughts and emotions in a loop that constitute this identity, start to pull the energy out of you. This prevents the energy from going in beautiful places and creating beautiful things in life. And it now sustains this illusion, this being, this illusion of a being is kept alive, like some sort of Frankenstein monster or something, creature. It's kept alive through the energy that you're feeding it with your attention, with your awareness. This energy is going into it. And the ego, again, I wish you guys were science fiction fans or Star Trek fans. One of the things you realize is that when an artificial intelligence or any sort of self-aware robot shows up on the scene, the first thing that it wants is to not stop existing. So the egoic self is so in love with the energy that you're sending it. It wants more of that energy. It needs it. It's like, well, wait a minute. If the awareness pulls away for 1 second, I will cease to exist. I won't be important anymore. And I won't be fed with this life force that I can't get for myself. I need the awareness. I need the soul to be focused on me. Stay focused on me. Stay focused on me. And this egoic identity starts to work really hard at maintaining the mesmerization that has gotten you captivated by it. So it says, what can I do to make sure that you don't even look away for a second? Because if you look away for 1 second, you'll remember, wait a minute, I'm divine. I'm the soul within the body. I am not the pain. I am not the illusion yourself. And the illusion breaks immediately. So it can't allow you to do that. So it says, no, 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 no. Keep the awareness focused here. Keep the awareness focused on what we have built, on this being now that seeks to continue to persist. And the way that it does that is by keeping you attracted to it. And it has to play its best cards. It has to present you with the thing that is most attractive to your awareness, most captivating to your awareness, so as to make sure that your awareness doesn't drift back and suddenly remember that you're divine. So what is it that will capture you the most? Well, what is it that captured you in the first place? What is it that was so powerful it made you forget the God inside of you, the God as you? Pain, fear. Pain, the memory of pain, and the fear of pain repeating, and the fear of how exposed you are to the possibility of pain repeating. Fear and pain are what will captivate your awareness the most. So now this egoic self, with the mind as its sort of operating system, is holding your awareness captive by bringing the pain and the fear in front of you over and over in order to get energy from you, in order to feed energetically from you, and in order to make sure that you don't have a moment where you drift back into your safe place and realize that being this egoic identity is not necessary or useful in any way. So the most common pains, the most powerful pains, the most common fears, the strongest patterns of thought and emotion that you carry inside of you are the ones that the ego is going to bring up over and over in order to trap and suck your vital life force. This is what we explored in videos called the pain bodies. That's the term that Eckhart Tolle uses, and I have a lot of those videos. There's a course in school that you can access. There are videos on YouTube about that. Eckhart Tolle's words are pain bodies, but you'll find, I think in Buddhism, it's referred to as samskaras. Other spiritual teachers will call it root thought patterns. Whatever it is. I prefer to use emotional pain patterns. Same thing. It is a loop of, well, the loop is essentially thoughts that generate emotions being a form of energy, a way in which energy is siphoned into the pain. So this pain now becomes an entity, a little creature, like a worm in your gut, but energetically speaking, it's a creature, and it is feeding off of your energy. And it grows and gets stronger and wants to feed more and more. So the pain body, dysfunction number 4. And I promise you it's the last one. It's the last. I know it sounds like it's so much, but this is how, when you forget who you are and you become mesmerized by what you think you are, which is pain, separation, and fear and loss, and vulnerability. Now that identity starts to sap you. It saps your being, your energy, your vitality. It feeds off of you. It drains you. It makes you tired, frustrated, weary, headaches, lethargy. Your energy becomes tamasek. It becomes, you go into sort of a dormancy. You're not interested in life because it's the joy, the energy that should be glowing through you as joy is being sapped by this pain, by these pain bodies, pain entities. In addition to that, those patterns, those little creatures, those energetic worms need to feed so much that they will now try to feed off of the energy of others. So You will go out looking for people who have matching pain patterns and either get energy from them, or they will come looking for you to get energy from you. And all of a sudden, all of the people in your life match you on the level of shared common pain shapes, pain bodies, emotional pain patterns. And they are either aggressing you, or in some way you are subconsciously aggressing them, or the two of you are just going at it in an equal way. And you have been doing this for so long, you don't even know you're doing it. You think that you're in a relationship with this person or in love with the person. You think that they're friends. You think that they're co-activists. And in most cases, you think that you're just simply being a good family member, because most of the people who share the same shape pain patterns to us are the people that we are most closely related to, the people that we grew up in the same house with. Those are the ones that we think we're sharing a family bond or beautiful family relationship with. But when you really look at it, you are feeding their pain and they are feeding your pain. And the false you and the false them are engaged in some sort of pain exchange weird dance. So the pain body sucks your energy. It drives and fuels your human interactions. Even the places that you choose to work or the things you choose to get involved with, you're subconsciously being driven there. It takes over your social interactions because it needs to get that type of pain energy from those social interactions by creating flare-ups of that flavor. And it starts to be your backseat driver now. It's it's pulling on the puppet strings, and it's saying, go to work in this place and make decisions like this. And it is either telling you to act from fear, or it is driving you to make life decisions that are a fear of the fear. You know, either you turn into the worst thing you've ever seen, or you very, very intensely out of fear and anger build a life that is 180 degrees opposite of what you saw growing up. But you're still driven by the pain. And the pain is still making you find situations in life and make decisions in life that are keeping you entangled in the pain in some way or the other. So the pain has controlled you mentally, emotionally, energetically, socially, professionally, and in terms of life decisions. And this is just where you completely become infused and are utterly overcome. Your life, your physical world, human life expression is overcome by this pain that is sort of like an infection that's spread through this part of your being, your world, your social world, your thought stream, your emotional patterns. All of that has become governed by it. But the nice thing about this is that at its peak, at its climax, this is what is sometimes referred to, that some people refer to as the dark night of the soul. It's where you get really, really, really frustrated, angry, desperate, confused, trapped. You start to have dreams that you're being chased, or you have dreams that you're imprisoned, and you start to feel this enclosure. I'm imprisoned. I'm imprisoned. What is happening? And the beauty of it is that is not the egoic identity. That is you're beginning to sense, you're beginning to feel there's something else. I am something else. And it's in there and it needs to be let out. So the fortunate thing is that who you actually are, is not actually damaged, is not actually hurt, and it is reaching out and awakening.